Young and the Restless spoilers reveal Alan Lawrence's confession and unbelievable surprises. Genoa City has never seen a confrontation as tense as this. Tracy Abbott, a woman who loves and protects her family, now faces a difficult decision. Can she continue to live in the dark with secrets, or will she find the truth behind Alan Lawrence's mysterious actions? Tracy and Alan's relationship has always been complicated, but this time, she will not let Alan get away with the truth. Tracy demands answers from Alan Lawrence. When Tracy confronts Alan, things are no longer a tangled relationship. She demands answers from Alan that she has kept in her heart for so long. "Alan, can you live with what you've done?" Tracy asks, her eyes hard and uncompromising. Alan, who is usually calm, cannot keep his cool when faced with this questioning. He has tried to hide his guilt, but now, something has changed. A big shock will come, forcing Tracy to face the truth she never imagined. Alan's suspicious signs. At the same time, Chancellor begins to discover an important clue in the kidnapping case. He notices the remote control used to activate the gas at the psychiatric clinic where Phyllis and Sharon are being held. Interestingly, this remote control was purchased online in Paris, from a psychiatric clinic. Although the case has been going on for a while, this time, Chance feels he is getting closer to the truth. This also leads him to an unlikely connection, Alan Lawrence, who contacted the clinic in Paris to arrange treatment for Ashley Abbott. Nick and his suspicions about Alan. Nick Newman can't help but feel uneasy when he notices Chance's reaction when he hears Alan's name. Nick begins to feel that Alan may be hiding a big secret. Things get more serious when Chance shares new information with Sharon and Phyllis. "I think we're getting closer to the truth," Chance says, his eyes showing determination. Nick, sensing Chance's tension, quickly asks him if there's something he's hiding. Chance denies it, but his eyes can't hide his worry. He already knows that Alan is deeply involved in the kidnapping, and the new clues help him realize that there's a bigger plan at work. The Alan connection and the Paris psychiatric clinic. When Chance reveals that the remote control was purchased in Paris, Sharon unexpectedly mentions that Alan once arranged for Ashley Abbott to be treated at a psychiatric clinic there. This made Chance's face fall. Why was there such a strange connection between Alan and the Paris asylum? Nick began to notice, and it didn't take long for him to realize that this could be part of a larger conspiracy that Alan was hiding. Does this mean Alan is involved in the kidnapping? Nick asked, his eyes never leaving Chance, as the truth about Alan began to sink in. Chance didn't answer right away, but inside him, a huge wave was roaring. He knew he had to act immediately. Shocking discoveries and the truth about Alan. As the investigation deepened, undeniable evidence began to surface. The police discovered that Alan was responsible for kidnapping Sharon and Phyllis, holding them captive in the abandoned asylum. This shocked not only Sharon and Phyllis, but also the Abbott family and other loved ones. Alan's confession, if it comes, will be a huge shock to the Abbott family and everyone who believes in him. Ashley and Jack worry about their sister. Meanwhile, Ashley and Jack Abbott are constantly worried about Tracy's safety. They fear that their sister may be in danger from Alan. A tense conversation takes place between Ashley and Jack, as both realize that Alan is not who they think he is. Alan is hiding a dark secret, and the truth about his actions could change everything. Sharon and Phyllis, an unbreakable alliance in dire straits. Sharon and Phyllis finally realize that they need to work together to deal with Alan. They form an unbreakable alliance, determined to expose the truth and protect their family. Sharon sees Phyllis not as an enemy, but as a companion in this fight. The relationship between these two women is changing, and they realize that their survival depends on confronting Alan and his secrets. Audra and Victor's proposal. Finally, Audra begins to discuss Victor's offer with Sally. This is not just about work, but also part of Victor's grand plan. Victor is trying to control everything around him, and Audra, despite her complicated relationship with Holden, must choose whether to side with Victor or not. She sees this as an opportunity to strengthen her position, but also a risk. Each character in this story is facing an important choice. Secrets are gradually revealed, and the truth about Alan Lawrence will cause everyone to reconsider everything. Will Tracy forgive Alan, or will she choose to stand on the side of truth, despite her personal feelings? Can Sharon and Phyllis work together to expose the terrible secrets that Alan has kept hidden for so long? And can the connection between Alan and the events that happened in Paris change the whole story? The answer can only be found when everything is revealed. Certainly, the tension, unexpected clues and psychological shocks will keep the audience glued to the screen. This story is never simple, and unexpected twists can always change the game completely. Secrets from the men behind the scenes. Tracy Abbott's hard heart and the 1,000-pound danger. Genoa City is in a stormy sea as the dark secrets of the Abbott family and the strained relationships between the characters in the area gradually come to light. The chilling events surrounding the kidnapping of Sharon and Phyllis are creating an unprecedented crisis, with one character in particular, Alan Laurent, at the center of all suspicion. However, the truth is not always clear, and every step and decision of the people involved will lead to unpredictable fluctuations. The police and the shocking discoveries of the kidnapping. As the investigation delves deeper into the dark layers of the kidnapping case, the police finally find an important, undeniable piece of evidence. Alan Laurent is the man behind the kidnapping of Sharon and Phyllis, holding them in an abandoned psychiatric clinic. This evidence not only puts an end to all suspicions but also brings the case takes a new, dramatic turn. Things begin to unravel, and this puts the main characters in a very tense situation. Ashley and Jack worry about Tracy's safety as the truth about Alan begins to emerge. Tracy's loved ones, especially Ashley and Jack Abbott, are worried. Tracy is a loving and protective person for her family, but this time, her protection may put her in danger. Ashley fears that her sister may be the next target of Alan's plot, and Jack is equally worried. Both are well aware that Alan is not who they seem, and that he may be hiding a deadly secret. Sharon and Phyllis, a desperate alliance. While the Abbott family worries, Sharon and Phyllis, two women who were victims of Alan, must now find a way to survive and cope with the increasingly tense situation. Sharon and Phyllis's relationship has not always been good, but in this situation, they are forced to form an unbreakable alliance. Together, they plan to escape Alan's control, and most importantly, expose the truth behind his plot. This alliance is not only for survival, but also an opportunity for both of them to confront a common enemy. This will also create a remarkable change in the relationship between Sharon and Phyllis, from confrontation to alliance. Tracy confronts Alan. A dangerous challenge. The tension reaches its peak when Tracy unexpectedly receives a call from Alan Laurent, who has returned to Genoa City after a long absence. When Alan returns, Tracy cannot help but feel uneasy. She can feel the instability in her own mind, but she cannot deny her feelings for him. In an effort to find out the truth, Tracy decides to confront Alan. But the worrying thing is that Tracy can't be sure whether the person standing before her is the real Alan, or the evil twin brother Martin, who has caused countless troubles in the past. She hopes to look into his eyes, to find some sign that he is the brother she once loved, or someone else to be feared. Tracy tries her best to hide her suspicions from her fiancé. She doesn't want to hurt Alan, but she can't continue living in the dark. She demands answers from Alan about what really happened on that balcony in Paris, where her life and the Abbott family's life seemed to change forever. Tracy even discovers that the alerts on Alan's phone are related to the kidnapping of Phyllis and Sharon, and this makes her feel like a time bomb waiting to explode. Tracy faces danger. Will she put herself in danger? Tracy begins to try to convince Alan to surrender, hoping that he will receive leniency from the law. But with someone as stubborn and mentally unstable as Alan, things can go in a different direction. Alan is not someone who is easily convinced, and his stubbornness may lead Tracy to face unimaginable dangers. Can Tracy reach the truth without risking her own life? And will Alan surrender, or will he continue to hide deadly secrets? These questions are still hanging in the air, making the plot even more dramatic and attractive. The danger is not over. What will Tracy's future be? As the plot begins to come together, viewers can feel the tension, the deadlock, and the difficult decisions that Tracy has to face. Can she stay sane and protect herself while facing the dangers lurking from Alan and those around her? Alan is still a threat, and no one can predict his next move. The psychological battle between Tracy and Alan is not simply a confrontation between lovers and fiancés. This is a tug-of-war between truth and lies, between love and betrayal. As secrets are gradually revealed, Tracy will have to choose between protecting her family and confronting the one person she once loved. Her decision will affect not only her life, but also the lives of everyone in the Abbott family. Tracy is at a major crossroads in her life. Her decisions will shape not only her future, but also the future of the Abbott family. Is Alan Martin's twin brother, or the criminal who caused so much suffering? Clues are gradually revealed, and all the characters are preparing for a tense confrontation, a war full of danger and surprises. The story has never been so hot and tense, and the audience will definitely not be able to take their eyes off the screen during the next leg of this truth. The return of Alan Laurent, a dramatic confrontation and hidden secrets. Genoa City is never short of surprises, and this time, an unexpected shock has occurred. Alan Laurent, a man with a mysterious past and complicated relationships, suddenly returns to the city after a long absence. Alan's return not only disrupts the lives of the Abbott family, but also opens up a series of unanswered questions. This story is not only about love, betrayal, and the search for the truth, but also a battle between reason and emotion, between enemies and loved ones, between a dark past and a dangerous present. Tracy and the fear that cannot be hidden. When Alan reappears, Tracy Abbott, his fiancée, feels her mood strongly disturbed. Tracy is a strong, intelligent woman who always knows how to hide her emotions and protect her family, but when faced with Alan, she couldn't help but feel doubtful. Was the man standing before her the real Alan, or just Martin, the evil twin brother the Abbott family had faced before? Tracy couldn't reveal this doubt to her fiancé, because she didn't want to hurt him, but the worry was simmering inside her, and she couldn't continue living in the dark. Tracy called for help, hoping to find help, while she tried to control all her emotions. She hoped that just one look into Alan's eyes would give her the answer. Was he the man she loved, or a fraud, a dangerous person lurking in his shadow? A fierce confrontation. Tracy demands answers from Alan. Shortly after Alan's return, Tracy couldn't keep silent anymore. She decided to confront Alan and demand answers about what really happened on the balcony in Paris. It was a traumatic event, involving the near death of someone she loved, and questions that remain unanswered. Tracy knows she won't find peace without facing the truth. For Alan, however, it's not an easy task. When Tracy asks Alan to explain the alerts on his phone, linking them to Sharon and Phyllis's kidnapping, she can only sense that this is when everything will come crashing down. The evidence is undeniable, and further ties Alan to the dark events surrounding the kidnapping. But all the while, Tracy can't help but wonder if she's putting herself in danger by confronting a man who has proven he'll do anything to protect his secrets. Chance and Nick's crucial clues. While Tracy is dealing with her suspicions about Alan, Chance Chancellor, in his role as a detective, discovers a crucial clue. He realizes that the remote control used to activate the gas in the psychiatric clinic where Sharon and Phyllis were held came from a shop in Paris. This seems to link the kidnapping case to Alan Laurent. When Nick Newman notices Chance's reaction to Alan's name, he immediately senses that something is wrong and begins to suspect that Alan is directly involved in the kidnapping. These suspicions are not just vague feelings, but a chain of events that he is trying to untangle. Police uncover shocking truth. As the clues gradually come to light, the police discover shocking information, confirming that Alan was the one behind the kidnapping of Sharon and Phyllis. The evidence will send shockwaves through the community, and everyone from the Abbott family to Sharon and Phyllis's loved ones will be confronted with a terrible truth. Alan is not only a man with a dark past, but also a man who can manipulate and deceive those he loves most. Ashley and Jack worry about Tracy. Tracy, while struggling with unanswered questions, becomes increasingly worried about her own safety. Ashley and Jack Abbott cannot help but fear for their sister. They know that Alan is not only a threat to Tracy, but to the entire Abbott family. Can Tracy escape Alan's control, or will she fall victim to a dangerous game that Alan himself is playing? The answers are slowly being revealed, but that does not mean everything will be resolved easily. Under increasing pressure from Alan's return, Sharon and Phyllis realize that they must work together to confront this danger. Their relationship is inherently difficult, but in this situation, they are forced to work together to find the truth. The alliance between Sharon and Phyllis is not only a necessary act to protect themselves, but also an important step in the fight against Alan and his schemes. These two women, despite their differences, understand that they can only survive if they stand together. Tracy confronts Alan. Is there a way back? Finally, Tracy can no longer bear it. She decides to confront Alan once more, demanding answers about the dark secrets he is hiding. However, this action may put her in danger. Alan, with his unstable mentality and stubbornness, may not accept the offer to surrender. If so, Tracy will face real danger, not only from the man she loves, but also from the complicated relationships in the Abbott family. Can Tracy change Alan, or will she become a pawn in the dangerous game he is creating? Unpredictable surprises. The story of Tracy and Alan is leading the audience on a journey full of tension and emotions. Secrets are increasingly exposed, and the confrontation between Tracy and Alan will bring unexpected situations. Can Tracy break the spiral of lies and protect her family, or will she become a victim in a larger conspiracy that Alan has created? This story is never simple and will continue to make viewers hold their breath waiting for the next steps.